I really wanted to share some reflections coming from a really deep place. And in order to be a teacher, I'm always a teacher within the seasons. I'm always constructing and destabilizing the old and the new together. And although no one has been like, what's going on? Is everything okay? It's almost like this feeling that encompasses you. It's like people checking in to make sure, like you're still alive and well. And to all those that have done that, I am so grateful for you for doing so, because the story that I've been living in has been quite challenging as of late, especially with the oncoming winter in the Northwest, and not really wanting to take that pause, always resisting to take that pause, even though it seems unnatural. I'm a person that loves seasonal changes, and I love winter, and being Russian and having Siberian blood within my nature, the winter is something you have to face no matter what. And it's always fated to happen no matter what. And it was very difficult for me to accept the displacement of my goals, and to then gather myself within the appropriate timing to be able to simultaneously shed and to grow within this container. And I think a lot of people in their 30s or 28 to 35 or so go through this period where you feel this unending heaviness of time, and it is Saturn and the return of Saturn being able to show you, hey, this is what you've learned, this is how deep the well has been carved within your soul. And you started to get off track in your goals. They were great, amazing goals that included everyone else, that included the uplifting of an entire network, but that doesn't mean that they're just in that place in time, because you shouldn't have to force yourself to change the people around you if they don't want to. You shouldn't have to alter, and to drive this constant vision into people that don't care. They don't seemingly desire to talk freely with you and talk honestly with you and be able to handle a conversation even. And it's been weighing heavy on my soul as Saturn has paused my life, and I'm beginning to understand the forces of nature that have befallen upon me. And even though I am a teacher, I'm also a student, and knowing all of the things and bits and pieces coming into my ether, I have a lot to share, and I have a lot of tools, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to be having a hard time at the same time. I'm still elevating and evolving to meet the demands or not. I'm still moving and learning how to be this efficient teacher in this professional realm, to show up for the people that need it, to be able to slide into this mastery instead of to grind into the mastery, to be able to believe that my skeleton and my whole entire life force is evolving and it isn't decaying. It isn't under Saturn and this Saturnian heaviness no longer. And to be able to understand time and what time does to you is really valuable. And to be able to understand your unique voice and your unique pulse that you put out into this universe. It doesn't have to be perfect yet, you know, it doesn't have to be like so profound right off the bat. I'm a human being and I'm a very emotional one, and I tend to need my space to be able to process all of these beautiful knowings and to be able to dissolve what doesn't fit and to be able to communicate like alchemy, just dripping from your voice and from your whole being, that pure frequency and potion. The elixir of language is so profound to finally settle into, and it is fleeting because life happens and there's other challenges. I'm a Mercurian being, I'm a Virgo. I understand how language and frequency and vibration shapes the world around you, and how certain communications just don't work out, and you don't want to like put yourself in a place where you seem desperate to be seen, or you need to overcome things by constantly like proving to other people that don't fucking care. It's a huge lesson to learn in life, and with the aid of my amazing partner Benny James Kozlowski and all the people that have supported me through this destabilizing time of taking a pause with piercing, to see where the capitalism kind of took over the initiatory experience, you know, of being able to surpass like a challenge, and therefore you gain this other part that you wear every day to remind you that you've overcome something, and therefore you are holding that stature. I have deeply ingrained meaning all across my body, and it all means something, and the meridians flow, you know, they still flow. And you know, I tattooed, I had my really great friend Nico at Utopia tattoo the underside of my chin that says abracadabra on it. And that reminds me that as I speak, I create. And I've been struggling with being seen this winter, and there's been a lot of realizations, and they're all really great, they're all really beautiful realizations, but you have to speak where you are heard and where you are valued. And yes, this is my way of becoming this teacher, and to hold space, to understand the demon in emotion, to understand that certain emotions are extremely low, and my ability to be emotional allows me to step up and through this emotional level that is crippling for some time to time. I understand that in my nature, I am here to hold emotion and to hold this demon, which is just low energy of the mind afflicting your body. To be able to formulate a path for me that allows all of these emotions, all-encompassing emotions, not just my own, but many, the holding of space, the healing of crisis. I don't need to do it for those that don't ask. I don't need to assume that I'm doing well for the entirety of the network if it falls upon deaf ears. And that is the nature that I have realized. I can always purify spaces. I can always bring life force back into a space, but it has to be sustained. It has to be sustained by an accumulation of interesting people that desire to have and uphold this space and this vibration. And where I have landed has been lacking. It comes to a halt. And therefore, it's time to really expand your knowledge. It's time to accumulate more and more tools into your life, more and more nature into your life. The realization that there's always distraction, there's always chemicals. As of late, I've stopped really wearing makeup as much because I know that perfume and a lot of chemicals that are put into foundation and makeup is actually really toxic, and it harms your fertility in nature. And being able to be this person that separates themselves from the industry, that separates themselves from the drive for fame and fakeness and the not self, is always difficult to be that force, that person that's gonna be like, I see this, but no thank you. That surpassing the need to show up. I need to spend more time reading and being in nature. And I've gotten this time, and I've gotten this accumulation of pieces that form me as a person. with love and support. And it's winter, and I'm slowly creating this production. I'm slowly creating this website, this beautiful depiction of what I feel gold comes from, internal gold. It takes some time. It takes some mental gathering. It takes like a whole transfusion. And I am living it. And if anyone out there feels displaced in the time warp of Saturn and feels heaviness and is trying to escape heaviness at all costs by stimulation, by distraction, by the fear of quiet, by the fear of decay, what seems like decay for others. If you're always trying to push so much and you have nothing to sustain that beauty within, you're just forcing. And I don't want to do that shit. My being and my body, it takes so much gathering at this point. And I find slowly like minds that understand the initiation. Thank you to my mentors throughout time and space. We have Onami that led me to Juji, Evans that led me to Jose Lito and the Brujas, the people that know the true nature of life force and have grown past the Saturnian heaviness. My heart goes out to you, and to see you thriving, and to see you also being the magi of your experience. It takes time. It takes grace. It takes a lot of responsibility to shift the tracks of true soul death. And whatever that you're learning in this pause, allow it to take time. I was so frantic at the beginning when I lost my job. I feared being supported. I feared not being independent in this individual age. I feared trust. There's so much that still has to come forward in that realm. But I know that I did a lot of fucking work. That I show up with language to those who hear it. And I'm always here as a teacher that is always ever growing and human, and incorporating more nature slowly into my life as I progress into the beautiful environment that I wish to actually have around me every day. To not just go into nature to escape, but to find an oasis that allows me to teach from a place of groundedness. I've learned to not fear to be heard or seen in my environment. And those lessons have been really amazing, because I am shifting into my performance age, into the age of being the magi of inspiration and imagination, and being able to co-create with people that feel the same. It's coming, and I'm so riveted by all the rewards that I feel within my bones that are happening. To be able to deepen the space of performance, to be able to allow yourself to have time for this perfection and this mastery to occur, because you cannot have a 9-to-5 fucking job. Not all of us can have a 9-to-5 job while learning all of this dense material that can therefore be digested into something of the age, something that is needed of the age to remind those whoever listens, whoever knows and understands. I grant you passage. It's all going to be realized and known within your body, and expand on all the things coming from the ether, all of the things that you know that you have to do in order to understand the mastery. Those are the right things to face in order to grow. And it's been everlasting reward to be able to slow down and to have this realization, and to be able to come from a place of real artistic, just rich source material. Just because I'm a teacher does not mean I am perfect, but I am always seeking perfection, perfecting the systems, experiencing the systems, to be a being of experience instead of talk, to maintain discipline within, to surpass certain layers that are difficult. If you hear me and see me, thank you for bringing me love and joy and understanding. And to be able to create from a deeper place is such a gift. I think that is all for right now and today, but it's a grand day. And knowing will come.